Okay, here we go.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Untitled Sickcos project, where I'm not live from Illinois. I am in fact live from Iowa, so no one can actually dox me where I live right now.
You live in Iowa, you nerd.
Bro is literally living in a Slipknot album.
Anywho, shut up from the peanut gallery. I am Bears fan, and I am joined by 5 of my co-hosts and a very special guest. You may ask, why are they expanding? I say to this because you haven't done to stop us yet.
Yeah. Just try and stop us, liberals.
Hello, I am Nickman. I am being indoctrinated by a cult. I'm not gonna say what the cult is, or else they will hunt me down.
They're gonna steal his crackers, yo.
They're gonna steal his crap.
I'm Juggerbear and I'm leading the operation to save him from the cult.
Hello, I am.
I will not. I will have no comments. I think you are. I will have no comment to your situation. But I think you are overreacting.
Hello, I am the MaskedAura, and I tried to save Nick, but he couldn't. I failed. I failed.
It's okay, the cult's too strong. Do not worry, everyone would fail against the cult. No worries.
I'm strong enough. I'm built different.
Of course, we also have the one that we remind to say, because we just talk over him and he doesn't really get a place to speak.
This my cue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
24 Amper, or no Cronster, as I also like to be called. I'm watching the 76ers play basketball. It's about as fun as you'd expect.
Same thing as watching the Kraken. Kind of like watching paint dry.
Oh yeah.
And now we have our very, very special guest.
Hello?
What? Hey.
Hey, you guys forgot somebody here.
Yeah. What the
Oh.
hell?
Oh yeah, our special guest is actually Spencer. We're actually changing.
I'm Carsausage, and I just got ignored, just like everybody with Grand Rapids, Michigan. Oh, woe is me. Oh.
So,
Anywho,
anyways, I am the special guest, Seth, and today we are going to be talking about all things sports.
Well,
And-
not all things.
Mostly football.
Mostly football.
We will be talking about whatever happens to come up within our brains, because we have ADHD, we have short attention spans,
We have autism,
and
most importantly, we have the meats.
Wait, we have the meats?
simply put,
Hell yeah.
So,
to
let us.
simply-
So, first off, what the fuck happened to picks? I saw picked for them, and they got crushed.
Hey, look, it's not our fault! I refuse to take I'm not taking accountability for losing. I refuse to take accountability. Someone else could have picked us. Someone could have picked SMU, but no.
That's the politician talking here. I will actually take accountability for this because, yeah, we fucked over Pitt. No
Yeah.
denying it. We fucked them over.
They had.
The Yinzers. It's over. We killed the Yinzers.
Yeah, we're sorry, Inzers.
They
It's
deserved
our
it.
fault.
Don't worry,
Look,
they'll still get a
look.
bowl game that they'll get crushed in.
Exactly.
Look, I'm just saying, I have no sympathy for a team that calls themselves the Panthers, and I also have sympathy for no teams who lose against said Panthers. This is a foreshadowing moment for later. Anywho,
I mean, it would be fine if the
It is-
Steelers did lose to the Carolina Panthers. Did they even play them this year?
no,
No.
what happened this last Sunday, Mr. MaskedAura
Oh right, the
with
Saints.
that one team. No, the Saints don't exist yet. We are still in the mind of the Pitt Panthers. Anywho, simply put, this is easily the worst thing to happen to Pittsburgh, within the last 7 days, and that's including what happened, on Sunday. Definitely not what happened on Tuesday, though. Tuesday was fairly normal.
So,
Yeah, Tuesday was a normal day. Was a very normal day.
regarding Saturday, whenever you guys all fucked over Pitt and gave SMU the clear win, in all seriousness, SMU is a legitimate contender for the national championship after they crushed Pitt, and I will not have anybody change my mind.
Honestly, I don't
Counterpoint.
think
SMU is lame.
No, SMU's exciting. They could turn over the ball 6 times and still win.
Yeah.
You know what SMU stands for? Sucky, mid, uninspiring.
But they're very inspiring. They're the team that fucks up so much, and they still win.
It's
Look,
not
no, think
fun.
about it this way. I'm just saying, Bama has a good name, Iowa has a good name. SMU does not inspire fear into the hearts of millions. Going up
Listen,
against
Nick.
Iowa State, going up against the Golden Knights, sounds beautiful. Going up against the SMU Stallions is the biggest sleeper.
Actually, they're called the Mustangs.
The Mustangs, whatever. Congratulations.
Get it right,
Your
buddy.
car now.
Listen, hey, let's say this though. Here's why you all should be thanking SMU though, because SMU is the most interesting football team in Dallas right now. They're actually the best football team in Dallas right now. Because personally, nothing that Jerry Jones can do can top SMU right now.
That's
Oh,
True.
they just traded ass.
why is that
They just
true?
traded-
Jerry Jones could suck a dick.
They just traded for Jonathan. They just traded a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo. Like, are you just not very? You're just not very fair.
You
with
don't
the,
know
with the
ball,
Cowboys,
bro.
man.
You don't
Yeah,
know
I
yeah.
don't
ball.
know ball. Yeah, listen, man, I get this though. I don't know ball. The Cowboys, they traded for the DJ Moore replacement. They traded for the guy that was supposed to help Carolina, and they had to give up a 4th for it. They had to give up a little bit more because they know this is the guy that was supposedly a DJ Moore replacement. We can fix him. We will be able to fix him. We will never have to worry about Amari Cooper and the fact that we trade him away for a 5th.
I just think this
Also, too, Dak Prescott's still not injured. What are you talking about? He's still starting next week.
Yeah, that never happened. That never happened. Nothing ever happens with Dak Prescott. He's just
Nothing
fine.
ever
Ignore the fact-
happens. Being
ignore the
on,
fact-
nothing ever happens.
Ignore the fact that there's a good chance Trey Lance might make an appearance on Sunday. Let's just ignore that. Let's all ignore that. That's not happening. That's never gonna happen. I am not paid by Jerry Jones for this, okay? I want to make that abundantly clear. Jerry Jones, I am not on his payroll. He has nothing with me, and the fact that I may or may not have said the fact that I think Jerry Jones will have a place in hell right next to Jerry Reinsdorf, that was a deep fake of me. That is not me. That is a deep fake.
That being said, Jerry Jones, give me money. Give me money, Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones sliding
That
the money
being
over
said-
to Nickman like a slick motherfucker.
No.
give me
There's
money,
no
give me
Nick.
money.
There's no money being slid. We're not laundering from the government.
Yeah,
This is the part where you. This is the part where you say that you were joking. Psst, say it before he shoots the gun.
Give me money.
You're
I
right, we're-
like making
You're right.
money.
We're dead, guys. Okay, so we're all ghosts now. Hello, everyone. This is the Untitled Ghost Project.
The Untitled Spookos Project.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
unfortunately,
were
it
just
came-
8 months. We were just 8 days late.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was 8 days late, but you know what? Better late than never. We are ghosts. We are somehow still owned by Jerry Jones. Somehow, I don't know how that happened, but I think Jerry Jones has some beachfront property in hell. So I guess that's how it works.
We are
So-
the ghouliest collective of sickos imaginable.
Mhm. But for the real point for Jerry Jones, Is it wrong to say he doesn't care about winning?
I don't think
No.
that's fair at all.
He only cares about getting TV deals, and he only cares about putting something on the field because he knows millions of Cowboys fans will watch him and put up with this mediocrity.
That's why we keep saying that Deion Sanders is going to be the head coach of the Cowboys next year, and he's going to bring in Shadur.
Yes,
No,
I
no, you got it wrong though.
trademarked that.
The Saints
I
are winning the
trade-
Tank Bowl this year. We're getting Shadur Sanders and we're getting Deion Sanders as well. It's a package
You know
deal.
Yeah.
Already signed, sealed, and delivered. It came to me in a dream last night.
It came to me in a dream, just like Arch Manning will
Joe
be
Burrow
the next
said it to-
quarterback of the Saints
Joe-
in 2026.
Arch Manning is
Burrow
a
said-
Panther.
Joe Burrow said to us last night telepathically, Shadur Sanders 2025, the Pope. We can only assume this means he's going to the Saints this year.
No, I thought that would mean Shadur is becoming the Pope.
Honestly, in all seriousness, though, SMU is a legitimate national championship contender.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
What?
because the only team that they lost to is a really good BYU team. They're playing really well. They've overcome a lot of adversity to even get to this point, and I feel like they are such a good team. I feel like they can beat Miami and enter the playoff and actually do some damage this year.
Yeah.
Not
That's-
I'm gonna say this though, Sev. I'm gonna say this just to continue on the college football topic, because I think there are things to talk about because this is the first week of the college football playoff. Those rankings have come out, and there's something that I want to immediately point out. Indiana is number 8.
Yeah, Indiana's hosting a game. Let's go.
Number
This is
8,
early.
Indiana is amazing. They are, my God, I love watching Indiana. I hope to God they beat Ohio State. Please, it would be amazing. And also, I have to mention, Boise State is in the top 12 right now. They are in the top 12.
I wish Iowa State was there.
I want to say.
Sorry, go on.
No, it's fine. I was gonna say among the teams in the championship race, I think the only team I can really trust right now would probably be Oregon. Maybe boys.
I thought you were going to say the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Oh, God.
Oh, I wish, man. I wish.
We wish.
The Penn
Yeah, but I
State
think
Shitney Lions.
But among college football teams, I think the only one that I can really trust to go for the national championship is Oregon. They've been the only one that hasn't really fallen into many pitfalls this year.
However, they almost fell into a pitfall against a team that is sitting pretty at 12th right now.
Yeah,
Just
but that
saying.
was week 2. They've settled.
Yeah.
They've walked in ever since.
Yeah, it's really funny how Oregon got off to, honestly, of all these teams, they got off to the worst start, but they are genuinely playing the strongest football ever since that, really shaky start to the season. That's something you'll always love to see if you are a college football fan, seeing your team, if they get off to a slow start, well, they fix those mistakes and they get better as the season goes on. And Oregon has more than done that. Very good reason to say they are the favorite right now in the CFP. I'm going to say this, though, looking at the college football playoffs, since I did name drop them, I'm going to give my take right now that I think will draw some worthy discussions here. I truly believe right now, with what I've seen from Boise State, I absolutely believe they can make a deep run in the college football playoff. I really believe in it.
And I will preach that by saying that that last second field goal that Oregon needed to beat Boise State is one of the most impressive losses that a team has taken all season long.
Yeah, especially since it's something that there's a very minuscule small handful of teams that are in the G5 that I consider to be good and worth watching, right? To me, it's Tulane, Tulane's on that list. Like, you got, like, the Army and Navy game this year is going to be one for the ages. And then UNLV's been fun to watch. They've built themselves a very good culture out there in Las Vegas. And then you got Boise State, they've been on a tear, and they've been, again, extremely watchable. It's really good to see, and we're gonna, I want to see more of these G5 programs. Like, you build yourselves up, come join the big boys, you'd be better off for it.
And the thing is, with Ashton Jeanty, obviously the force, just how well, obviously the Boise State offense, even outside him, has been very impressive. But obviously with Jeanty, you have an absolute powerhouse of an offense right there for, just go out there and do the job. Like, the fact of the matter is, the fact that a bad game for Ashton Jeanty has been like just over 100 yards and like a touchdown is very impressive. That really says something.
Also, too, keep in mind, I think it's pretty much donezo with Heisman voting. I think Gene T wins it like by a landslide. No one else is close besides Travis Hunter.
Sure, because
But Travis,
I think Cam Ward's. I'm gonna say right now, this might be bold, but I think Cam Ward's the favorite.
Yeah, it's Cam Ward, Travis. It's Cam Ward and Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty right now.
What? You guys are forgetting someone. I absolutely believe that Jeanty is going to win the Heisman, but you guys are all sleeping on Dylan Gabriel.
No.
He'd be four. He'd be four.
Guys, hear me out. Jalen Knoll.
I mean, it's better than who I thought you were gonna say.
Did you seriously think I was gonna say Rocco?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Umalele.
Umalele's troll. The thing is, Umalele's the.
What's the opposite of the Heisman? A Peterman? Yeah. What's your Peterman?
No, Peterman was good at Pitt. There we go, Kraken score. Thank you, Tanev.
Yeah.
Don't forget. Never forget. Nathan Peterman beat Deshaun Watson in the college ring.
Yeah.
Never forget that time in America where a very bad man turned into Quagmire Toilet and then proceeded to eat the Twin Towers.
I mean, for me, like, if you want to look at like what's the opposite of the Heisman, it would be the DJ. It literally would be the DJ Ongole Award. Yeah, I mean, that's the award.
Or like the fucking Tim Boyle Award.
Tim Boyle.
Luke, I feel like if you're down with that, I think we need to make the Umbalele Award.
The Umbalele. I think we'll be that comes with the L's of the Year. That's gonna come with the L's of the Year streams in the new year. Right. That is going to be a grand old time where, if you don't know what the L's of the Year, we are going, which is the 6 or 7 of us. I think 7. I think, if depending upon Adain, we come up with 5 nouns for the L of the Year, and we list as to why they're the L's of the Year, and it can be anything. It just needs to be a noun.
But there's a twist.
So the twist is that you want to try and think of a different L, like the uncommon L, because someone can take your L and you would have to think of a different L to think of. Like, for example, if I have DJ Ongole as one of my L's, if we spin the wheel and it lands on Taegan first, and Taegan says my first nomination for L of the Year is DJ Ongole, I have to think of somebody else.
Yeah.
So we cannot get sniped. So yeah, sorry, you can get sniped with your L of the Year. So you got to try to think as outside of the box as possible, but also inside of the box, because we forgot to mention a few L's of the Year, but that's the purpose of it.
I'm sure you guys can guess what one of my L's of the Year is going to be.
You?
Yeah. It's always number 3.
Oh, Antonio Brown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every
Wait,
day, every
also-
time.
If for Amber and Nickman, I think that you two know who my L of the area is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a definite one. But I'm still trying to
We will
compile.
simply put C.
Yeah. By the way, I'm still on the topic of college football. I just want to give a little score update. Iowa is losing to UCLA right now.
Shut up! I'm gonna need you to shut your yap really quick, Nick, because
Brother
I'm
in
getting
Christ,
ready.
I'm just giving the halftime update.
I don't need a halftime update. I am well aware of what's going on. Because what's gonna happen?
Everyone else here might not be aware.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, they don't need to know Iowa's fails and fumbles. They don't need to know their follies and flatulence.
Who? Fucking who?
Brother.
Mr. Iowa State himself in here, because it's just more ammo he's gonna use against me. I already have to suffer with Caden McMack the fucking Nera. You think he's not gonna have more ammo? Haha, we have Rocco Beck. What do you have? Oh, your most relevant quarterback was CJ Beathard? Yeah, imagine how sad that sounds.
No,
Your most
Taegan, you
relevant
just need to
quarterback.
own him. It says, yeah, we have the greatest player of all, Troy Taylor, punter.
No, if I'm gonna make fun of you, it's the fact that you still have that old fuck Kirk Ferentz as your head coach, even though he hasn't.
Only we're allowed to hate
diddly
him.
fuck.
Only we're allowed to hate him. Don't you dare talk shit about my king. Only we're allowed to shit on him.
It's just remember, if you ever want a quarterback, you can always look at what Utah State has right now.
No, no.
Sorry. I was just about to say, are we ready to watch some Wolverines die tomorrow?
Yeah.
Proudly.
Yeah.
They're gonna.
I'm ready for them to get slaughtered.
Well, it's kind of like you can kind of understand just in terms of like for what Michigan built up and what they kind of have to kind of rebuild against. The same thing with Washington, right? Washington has to do Washington's in the process of building up another team because they lost. They made to the finals, but yet they had to completely rebuild their entire team. Their entire starting offense either went to the NFL or hit the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the life of college football. It's incredibly fast paced. Things change on a drop of a dime, right? And the real thing we all have to watch out for Michigan is, do they have the right coach for the next 10 years? Because if they don't have the right coach for the next 10 years, and he's unable to rebuild up Michigan to where they once were, they're going to be wandering the abyss for a while, probably even without some bowl games.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Michigan, like, honestly, with Michigan, it's just, I mean, obviously, you had so many changes in the offseason with the fact that you lost Harbaugh, you lost Minter, you had a lot of coaching changes and all that, and, I mean, it's just, I mean, for all I could say about the Michigan, like, coaching and all that, it does need to be said right now that Michigan would probably be in a better place if they had something called a quarterback, because they do not have a quarterback right now. They haven't had a quarterback all season. Like, yeah, they technically have a quarterback on the roster, but can we really call what Michigan has had this season quarterbacks?
Exactly. Like, the way to beat Michigan is
shut down the run game. Easy.
Yeah, they're gonna run the thing that was so frustrating. Like, USC should have beat Michigan on the road. They absolutely straight out should have beaten Michigan on the road. And the thing with to beat them is they're gonna run the ball 50 to 60 times because they don't trust the guy to throw even like 15 times the game. So they're very one-dimensional until they can find a freshman or get somebody through the transfer portal, like a Quinn Ewers.
Remember when in the late 80s Notre Dame only passed twice and still beat Michigan?
Oh yeah, you could still happens
How
like
college football has evolved. Oh, how college football has evolved.
football just in
Just with
general has
Michigan.
evolved. It's
Yeah, like, just the game of football in general, and just with Michigan, it's going to be really interesting to see, because they're going to be in desperate need of finding a quarterback, this offseason with the, whether that be through recruiting or the transfer portal. And it's not going to help with the fact that you're going to be losing your two best defensive players, arguably your two best players in general, to the NFL draft in Will Johnson and Mason Graham, who are both projected to be top 5 picks right now. So that's going to be a big loss for them.
Christ. I feel like they're going to massively regress.
And the thing too, like this isn't like the Big Ten before you have Washington, Oregon, UCLA, and USC, right? Just because you added those 4 colleges, your conference is going to be a lot better. You can only beat up on Purdue for so much, right? There's like again, Wisconsin has been.
Oh boy, can we talk about Purdue?
One second. We'll get there. We'll get there, Spencer. We'll get there. We'll get to Purdue. Like think of how about think like Rutgers, Northwestern, right? Purdue's on that list. Think about like again, there's schools that can just literally get by on a defense. Iowa, sorry, Taegan. Like Iowa, like Wisconsin, like they have been like floating around like they're a good college program, but like they're not that top 25 program that they usually are always put in pre rankings. And again, you got Nebraska now. Nebraska's on the rise. You have Indiana. Indiana's on the rise. I would look to see if Indiana's coaching staff would go to Michigan soon. Not next year, but like 2026. Again, Washington lost their entire coaching staff to Alabama.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's possible. It's just I don't want that to happen. I really don't.
That would be very gross and yucky and...
It would be, but like, it's the college prestige. It's the coaching carousel. It's... Keep in mind, unless Indiana shovels out the money and keeps the coaching staff and the culture that they built in Indiana. Oh, Indiana's going to rise up to be on the same tier as Ohio State. Right? Absolutely. But, like, the Big Ten is the second best conference in all of college. The SEC is number 1. No matter... That's where it is. It's just because I find the Big Ten's just held back by Northwestern, Purdue, and all those... There's one school I'm missing. I don't give a shit. They're not good.
I legit forget Northwestern's in the Big Ten sometimes.
Yeah,
like
see?
Power 5 school.
No, you forget Northwestern is a Power 4 school and they're terrible. My point exactly.
Here's my issue with everybody saying Northwestern was forgettable. They've been forgettable until they were so forgettable until 1995 whenever they went to the Rose Bowl.
Well, yeah, even like
memorable team.
Even like then, there's always like special moments where again, if you get the star, like especially if there's like the S tiers of college and there's like the A tiers, right? The A tiers, if the stars align, they'll be really like set for a while. You'll have them absolutely set, but then you got like your Rutgers and Northwestern, your Purdue's. They're gonna need heaven and earth to line up for it all to matter.
Whenever it does, it's the best thing on earth.
It is. It's upsetting to watch too, because your conference is only going to get even harder. You might be lucky that Michigan is going to be taking a massive step back in regression. But then you also have schools that have taken absolute advantage, like Nebraska, Indiana, Illinois has taken all advantage of Michigan's absence, and there's a void that is looking to be filled in the Big Ten if Michigan doesn't step up and fill that need. There's lots of schools that are nipping at the bud, and that's going to be really good for the conference because they need to be on pace with the SEC. Because the SEC, they had 9 schools ranked at one point of the 16. It is... You have to... And again, even like Oklahoma, I think if Oklahoma was in the Big 12, they'd be fine, right? They'd be fine in the Big 12. But now that they joined the SEC, it's so much harder. Because, like, you have to play Alabama, Georgia, Texas. And even then, if it's not these schools, you still have to play, like, Florida.
Tennessee, A&M, Florida.
Like,
even
South Carolina.
Exactly.
Like, exactly.
You can't sleep on any team. Like, even if they're going to finish 6-6, they would, like, these schools would be probably like 8 or 9 wins in like the Big 10, Big 12, because you can't sleep on any of these teams. Like the amount of close calls and upsets that have happened this year in the SEC alone has been incredible. Like, and there's no like team that you can just beat the crap out of anymore because Vanderbilt decided, hey, let's be good.
Yeah, with the exception of like Mississippi State, sorry to interrupt, Sebs, but like with the exception of Mississippi State and I'm not gonna say, I don't know if I'll say Auburn as well, but they're the bottom 2 right now in the SEC. But the thing with the SEC is that like, my God, like with the SEC, it's just they're the best conference, but they also are the best at cannibalizing each other. Like genuinely, they will take each other down. And take each other down if it means, hey, I'm going to show you I am an SEC team. I am worthy of taking you down. And we've seen that many times, most recently with what South Carolina did to Texas A&M. And I mean, South Carolina, that is, like, Columbia is such a tough environment to play in. And it's a perfect example of how, like, you know, even if you're not, like, in the top tier of the SEC, like, you are still going to be in trouble having to play, you know, in that environment, especially an environment as great as Columbia. Now, I'm going to say, because I think it's time to go back to the Big Ten, because you mentioned how there is a void that needs to be filled if Michigan can't get their shit together. Well, I'm just going to say this. There's a lot of possibilities as to who will fill that void, but let me tell you, I know one team that I don't see filling that void next season. That's Purdue. Holy fuck, this team is trash.
Don't.
Don't say that in front of Mr.
Bears
Purdue.
Bears fan, Carsausage, Aura. I have a better name. Purdue.
Purdue's good. Purdue and Purdue, they're kind of gets the point across. But like Purdue, I've never seen Purdue be worth a damn unless it's basketball?
Basketball, yes. But here's the funny thing. You have to remember.
Then only then.
Here's the funny thing, though. Like, the fact of the matter is, yeah, Purdue's never really been they've never really been the best football program. But the fact of the matter is, they were in... It's really funny to think they were in the Big Ten title game 2 years ago. That's funny to think about now. It's really funny to think about.
Wait.
They had a good coach in them. They had Jeff Brom. He was able to go 6 seasons. He had a couple of upsets. Under Purdue, under Jeff Brom, Purdue was the most stable it had ever been. Let me take a look here. Before Jeff Brom, they had Daryl Hazell, who sucked. And after them, they have Ryan Walters, who sucks.
Yeah.
Never forget 2018 Ohio State versus Purdue. Never forget that.
That was great.
That was a legendary game.
That was amazing.
One of the greatest games in Purdue.
And the funny thing is, the best game day environment in history in Wazoo, Drew Bledsoe called it. Drew Bledsoe called that upset.
Nice. Love to hear that.
Indeed. But
yeah, with Purdue, it's just... Look, I should have known that things were going to go bad after the whole the whole Notre Dame game, getting blown out 66-7 after the
That
whole
was your double
NIU
down
debacle.
too.
Which, yeah, I'm still mad about the fact that I picked Purdue in that. I think I cursed them with that, but you know what? I do not care. Purdue is
We do not
yeah,
care.
it's a yikes.
Uh,
Holy hell! Like Ryan Walters, I am amazed he still has a job right now, especially with all the things I've heard about him.
Return too somehow.
Oh my god!
Speaking of the team, speaking of the team that Nick picked against, Notre Dame is far from fool's gold this year.
They've gotten their shit
I was just
together.
gonna-
I hate to say it. I'm sorry, Taegan. Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
No, Taegan, go. You've been wanting to chime. You know, Taegan, go. You've been wanting to chime in.
It's fine. Just move on. Just move on. It's fine.
Okay.
No,
well,
it's
I'm
not
gonna-
fine.
I'm just gonna say though, like, yeah, you mentioned Notre Dame. I will admit, for as much as, God, it was funny watching them lose to NIU. It was really funny. It was it really exposed their flaws at the time. But yeah, they put the foot on the throttle ever since then. Like, they've played very good football, great football in many games. I mean, God, that Navy game was tough to watch. I will not lie. That was they killed the Navy in that game. It was tough to watch.
No, not the
I love
See,
Red.
though.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're the guest. Just feel
No,
free to spit what
Bears
you gotta
fan,
say.
Bears fan. You're one of the founders. Go ahead.
No, it's fine, man. Just go.
No, I'm sticking my ground.
Okay. So I will chime in. Like, the one thing that I find really helps a lot. Like, I think if it weren't for the playoffs expanding to 12, a loss to NIU like that, I think that would have completely derailed Notre Dame's season, purely based on like their strength of opponents. Wasn't going to be very, like, all they had to do was play, like, was it number 17 Louisville, and then there was number 24 Navy, which is a G5 school, right? But, like, that's all they've had to play, right? And unfortunately, right, they have Florida State and USC, which they're not super
here's the-
good.
Here's the thing, though. It's a rivalry game.
It is.
It'll always be close, no matter what. Like,
Florida State or USC?
I think USC.
USC.
I think
Okay.
USC would end up winning that game.
No. Like, the
wanna know why?
what one was going to be considered the rival game? USC or FSU?
USC's the rivalry.
You see,
one.
okay,
That's the
okay.
rivalry
Yeah.
game.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, for the most part, it's like USC could easily win that game because USC has been one of the few teams that have been able to keep up with the big boys, but also play down to the small boys.
USC's
so
a
it's just,
weird.
It's super weird.
USC's a weird.
I think, and you can quote me on this, but I think if they end up losing to USC in the last week, where they're probably going to be barely in on a playoff spot, I think that it's ultimately going to come down to Notre Dame missing the playoffs if they don't beat USC.
I would
Because
agree
I
to
think-
that. I can
I'd
agree
agree.
to that.
But shout out to Red, obviously. But I feel like he's wrong here. Notre Dame is not fool's gold this year.
They're not. It's this. Do you know what this season really feels weird? It's probably one of them. You could say it's the most chaotic season because there's not a. We don't see like a big boy, you know. Like, you know how it's usually Alabama or like the Georgia dynasty or like the Clemson dynasty, right? There's.
I'll have you know that Iowa State is like the Bronco Beck dynasty, man. Watch
Could be.
out, big
Could be.
trucks.
Absolutely. Like, even then, like, don't forget, like, also too about like the Big 12s. There are a lot, like, Cincinnati's starting to build something really nice, right? We're seeing Texas Tech, like the void that's left of Texas and Oklahoma. There are schools that are just dogging to fill in that spaces. And Cincinnati, a former G5 school, they want to build themselves up to one of the big boys, and that's something really good to see. Because again, the Big 12 is slept on. There are schools that are itching to be great. Lots of schools. So we're in this era of high chaos where anything can happen on a given Saturday.
The thing is, too, like, there are... Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Nick was agreeing with me. Yeah, he was saying... Yeah. No, you're good. You're good, Taegan.
No, it's got that. I was just gonna say, for the most part, even in the Big 12, there's been teams who have that push, but they just haven't done anything with it. Like Kansas State, they've always been consistently ranked within the top 25 every year, and they've always been consistently like flirting with, if this team, they might make it, they might make the CFB, they might not, but it's just like they're just something off every single year. It feels like this year, it's just, they got put into a rough division where everyone's just super up to their par right now.
No, the fact almost losing to Colorado on the road, had Colorado not called man coverage on the play where they scored the game-winning touchdown, Colorado would have won that game.
Yeah, and before we get to that, I do just want to add one more point about Notre Dame before I make my next point. If Notre Dame, this is just how I see it, it's crazy to think that if Notre Dame hadn't lost to NIU, there's a good chance they'd be number 2 right now. Like, there's a real chance that would be the case if they didn't lose to NIU,
gross.
which would be crazy to think about. But that's just a thought worth putting in y'all heads.
Right.
My
Well,
other point.
Nick, wouldn't they be like number 5 because they need to win the conference to get a first round bye, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh no, not like that. I'm talking like in like the main rank.
The AP poll, AP poll.
Not like that, like like the playoff, but yeah.
Okay,
that's what I
AP
meant
poll.
by that.
Okay.
But yeah, all good. But my next point. As for my next point, this is something I've seen people bring up, and I think it's worth saying. It's worth giving a mention to. Imagine the scenario where Colorado wins out this season.
I've been envisioning that. You don't know.
I'm pretty sure Taegan would kill himself.
Oh, do you not know how huge last weekend was? You had Iowa State losing, and you also had Kansas State losing. That's huge. Keep in mind, the one Colorado is 6-2 right now, but one of their losses was non-conference play. It was
Nebraska.
To Nebraska.
To a pretty solid Nebraska.
So
a pretty solid Nebraska team who almost beat Ohio State in the horse. Just saying.
And when you have that all lined up, right? If the stars align, right? Sure, yes, Colorado needs to take care of their business. But if the stars align, Colorado, and I will be so overjoyed and Taegan damn well knows why, if Colorado wins the Big 12, holy smokes, I would love that. I would love that just because the Big 12 has been quietly chaotic and no one has said anything about it. But you also have, I think a lot of people wouldn't mind Colorado being in the CFP because, again, it's as much as, off-field action have pissed a lot of people off. They're a doll in terms of brand, and again, it's what people have been saying, Dion. What have you done for Colorado? What have you done? What are the results on the field going to show? Winning the Big 12 championship is results on the field, and that would be huge for Deion Sanders, and huge for the transfer portal and recruiting.
Colorado's real test this week. Go ahead.
Adding on to MaskedAura's point is that Colorado was originally a Big 12 team, so it would be like them returning back home to sort of reclaim their turf. If you can make a storyline out of that.
It is all very good storylines. Like it's again, Colorado's a media darling. As much as people hate Colorado, they're a media darling.
We'll say this at the very least. Considering that Texas Tech did knock off Iowa State, The fact that Texas Tech is at home against Colorado is not going to be a gimme for them.
It's
Oh,
going to
absolutely.
this
It's going
will
to
be
be-
the one game that if they lose this game, they'll get a good bowl game on Christmas Eve. But if they win this game, guys, I'm not sleeping on Texas Tech. We're gonna get a damn good game from these two. We are going to get fireworks. This game's at 1 or 5.
1.
It's at 2.
1? Okay. I'm talking
but yeah,
PST.
Regardless, whatever happens, we're gonna get an exciting matchup at Jerry World this year.
BYU or Iowa State do need to Kansas State needs to lose again, and BYU or Iowa State need to lose again for Colorado to have a chance. But their odds went from dead in the water to your eyebrows being raised to it in a matter of 1 week. God, I can't wait.
By the way, I just wanted to add on, BYU's having a monster year this year.
BYU's been good. Can't wait for BYU. There's a huge rivalry game, BYU and Utah this weekend too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Utah sucks ass this year, you cannot underestimate this game.
I can't wait for next year when their 26-year-old senior starting quarterback is back. I think they've medically redshirted him medically again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is
Yay.
Lamau. That's funny. 26 years old.
Cameron Rising he's going to have a longer college career than Andrew Luck's NFL career.
Like the thing is if he has like a solid year, he's gonna get drafted in the 3rd or 4th round. Like he's very draftable. It's just he hasn't played a full season in a while to really garner that. And the problem is he's like time's running out for the guy too because a 26-year-old rookie. Yeah, that doesn't go well.
I will say this just because I do want to kind of get this a little bit going because obviously we need to get this wrapped up at a very good time and we're kind of at the midway point. I feel like this is a good transition to the NFL where one of the teams that we can talk about that might be drafting a quarterback come this offseason is the Saints. And Mr. Juggerbear, would you like to explain to the crowd your genuine thoughts and opinions on the Saints right now?
Jugger?
You there, Jugger? He died. He died.
Okay, I'll take over from here. I will take over from here.
I'll just say this: they're back to the Aints. They're no longer the Saints. They are the Aints again.
Because they ain't good.
There you are, Jugger. There you are. But
No, he wasn't. I don't hear him anymore.
It was a mirage.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the Saints with the Aints, whatever you want to call them. For as bad as things have gotten, for as much of a tanking masterpiece this team may or may not become in the near future, it needs to be said regarding the Saints. I don't think things can get worse than the fact that Dennis Allen did not know that, hey, maybe we should have an activation period before practice.
You know what, Nick? I feel like you're just being too new-fashioned. A lot of these players don't need warm-ups before games. They don't need warm-ups before practices. But what are you on, Nick? You know nothing about football. Clearly you don't.
Yeah, clearly I don't. It's like, I mean, hey, clearly, you know what, though? I will take the words from, I will quote from a Saints player that actually knows something about football. Regarding the Saints-Panthers game last week, if that was a college bowl game, that motherfucker would have been called the Cottonelle Doo-Doo Bowl. We just lost the Cottonelle Doo-Doo Bowl. Shake my head. And you know what? That's This is I think that's a tweet that perfectly sums up the New Orleans Saints after starting off 2-0, outscoring your opponent 91-29. They would go on to lose 7 straight games, and as a result, it has gotten Dennis Allen fired.
Look, I'm
Deserved.
just saying
Absolutely
the Saints.
deserved. The Saints are really disappointing this year, dude. I really thought that they could do something. Especially after that start.
The thing that really just frustrates me the most is, like, the first 2 weeks we're looking them as Super Bowl contenders, and then now Tank Bowl. What? Like, I can understand the injuries, but at one point, right? At what point do you can't? It's coaching. It's the coaching, and then the injuries, because, well, gee wee willikers, there's an explanation for that, because you're not letting guys warm up. Huh.
Yeah, who would have thought? And it's really interesting, because, I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of injuries, but let's be real. In terms of coaching rankings heading into this season, Dennis Allen was definitely near the bottom. And I feel like the 2022 season was quite not the showing that Dennis Allen wanted in his return to coaching. And 2023 only further confirmed that. The fact that you made those moves, you got guys like Derek Carr, and you still played mediocre at best football. It wasn't good enough. Everyone knows it wasn't good enough, and yet the Saints justified bringing him back for a third season. And for 2 weeks, it looked like, hey, you know what? Maybe being patient is going to pay off for this team.
Then he just lost 7 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it lasted for 2 weeks for a reason. Because, of course, as we've mentioned multiple times now, the Saints lost 7 in a row. You lost to the Carolina Panthers. You lost to the Carolina Panthers when Bryce Young was starting. In one of the, in what was truly a true tank bowl for the ages between the Saints and the Panthers, most highlighted for the Saints with Derek Carr throwing a hospital ball to Chris Olave, which, god damn, I really feel bad for Olave. He's gotten way too many concussions. And
I just want to say this real quick. I feel like if anything, though, we do need to give a little bit of credit to Bryce Young, because for the first time in a while, he looked like he was not only having fun playing football, but he didn't look like an absolute liability on the football field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed. He played a solid enough game out there in his, he played a solid enough game, and for what Bryce Young's gone through, for what the Panthers have gone through, with trying to make Bryce Young work, trying to make all of this work after the whole trade with Chicago, that's something you love to see. Even though technically I should be rooting for the Panthers to fail, I'm happy to see Bryce Young actually have fun out there. It's nice to see a quarterback that's really, struggled as much as he has, go out there and have some fun finally. So that was that's nice to see. But for the Saints, I mean, I just love looking on the Saints-Panthers game and just seeing, wow, their entire offense is basically just, hey, Alvin, can you run and catch the football for us, the entire game, please?
Good, and they bat their eyes, too, when they say that. They bat their eyes, can you please?
Please, Kamara, but please, Alvin, we need you. We gave you the money, we gave you the contract extension for a reason. We're really relying on you here. We really need you right now. And I mean, granted, it's not surprising.
Alvin Kamara on the Saints is like that one person that you really talk to whenever you're down, but it's just you've been doing just a really, really, really bad stretch. And the dude's just slowly being like, "Okay, dude, I get it. You're depressed. You're sad. You're all that kind of stuff."
It's like the freaking like Alvin Kamara on the fucking on the Saints is like, you know, the Bugatti in the driveway. Like that's literally what it is. That's
I mean,
basically
he
him.
is. He's literally the last thing holding the Saints together.
Yeah, it really is. But you know, look, New Orleans, for as bad as this has been, at the very least, you're finally free. Dennis Allen can no longer hurt you.
But one problem
what?
though, Mickey Loomis, he probably will be your future owner.
Sadly. With the exciting information we learned.
Speaking, if we want to flip the record from 2-7 to 7-2, there is a very exciting team in DC for the first time in forever.
I'm happy for Washington. This is what happens. This is the direct result of what happens when a shithead owner, the worst owner in sports, fucks off and is forced kicking and screaming to sell the team, and you transition to the 76ers ownership group, which has been, I've traditionally hands off. They let the football men do their job. They've not brought in football men, and they built something special to now where players want to go to Washington. When is that? That's
Namely Marshawn Lattimore.
exactly.
Perfect transition there. Like Marshawn Lattimore wanting to play for Washington. It's like, you know, the fact of the matter is, like, I mean, first off, thank God they made the trade with Washington, not Kansas City. Thank God the Chiefs did not get any more ammo that they would have already. They don't need more ammo, but thank God they didn't get that. But Washington, to talk about the Commanders, like, yeah, this is probably the best season they've had since RG3's rookie season, and simply put, I mean, Jaden Daniels is gonna win Rookie of the Year at this rate. He's playing the best of the rookie quarterbacks. Washington's offense, you know, someone wise man once said that, hey, this is a college offense. Well, guess what? A college offense is working very well for Jaden Daniels and guys like Terry McLaurin and all that. Like, you know,
I mean,
fact
the
that-
basic logic is how can what can a quarterback do without a good system? Like, yeah, I know the best quarterbacks of all time still need actual receivers and a good system to run, and a good system. Even Mahomes needs help.
Yep.
Right.
And
But it's also
Daniels,
too,
he's gotten down Washington so far.
basically the entire thing is don't reinvent the wheel. Do what Jaden does best.
I do have to wonder. I do have to wonder if he is entirely okay right now. I know he had an injury to his ribs, and injuries and rib injuries like that have me concerned. I wonder how much that might be affecting his play.
True. That's a great point. I mean, they are very rib injuries in general. Doesn't matter how tough you might be, they are going to hurt like hell. And yeah, for Jaden Daniels, that's going to cause some pain. But hopefully he stays all right. But yeah.
I mean, he did throw that. He did throw that Hail Mary while he was injured.
True.
Oh, that was
Very
funny.
true.
I hate being reminded of that, but thank you for putting that out there. That is true. But yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels is a tough quarterback. He can play through a lot of pain. Just, you know, obviously for his sake and the fact that he's a rookie, a very fun and talented rookie to watch. I don't want to see him have to play through a lot of pain.
RG3. I wish that he is not the next RG3.
Yeah.
Well,
Same here.
I do want to go down the division a little bit because I feel like this is a perfect time to have Noah go on his first ever rant on this podcast. Noah, I would like to say this. what are your thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles right now? And this is not including the thoughts on your hack of a head coach. You can get into him after you just get over the general thoughts.
Remember, I'm a Texans fan, not an Eagles fan.
Oh, God fucking damn it.
Idiot,
Don't
dumbass.
don't worry.
Anywho, but please
Oh.
go over the Eagles and go on a fake rant, pretty please.
To be analytical, real quick, I just can't buy into them. They have the talent. I think they could be a Super Bowl. I think they could be a Super Bowl team with the talent they have. But if I've learned anything from the Sixers, it's that talent can only do so much with bad coaching. And Nick Sirianni is stupid, man. I don't know what else to say.
He's a
stupid.
bitch.
Did you see what he did against the Jaguars? He damn near sabotaged it. He damn near sabotaged the game because it almost looked like he was a double agent there. We see them beat the crap out of the Bengals and silence Joe Burrow, and then nearly lose to the Jaguars the very next week. It's insane.
Yeah, it's just no with the Eagles. Just I've thought about this for a while because there's no denying the talent the Eagles have, and the fact of the matter is, at least more than one occasion compared to last season, because we all know how many close games they had last season. The Eagles have, especially against Saquon, they've played better games in my opinion than last season. I definitely think this is a better Eagles team. But the way I see the Philadelphia Eagles right now is the Eagles are a very talented team. They are a great team on paper that is coached by a dumbass. That is the best way to describe the Eagles. Talented, coached by a dumbass. And Nick Sirianni, I'm pretty sure, Spencer, I hope you get this reference, but Nick Sirianni gives me the same vibes as, he gives me the vibes of, he just seems like a douchebag. Like, you look at him, and you just see, he just seems like a douchebag.
Yeah.
A little rant on my end because my Patriots are not doing so nice, but because Bill Belichick was a fucking idiot whenever he lost Brady. I hate to say it, I hate to admit it, but he was a fucking idiot. His system of offense was just not working. It didn't work in the late 2010s. It sure as shit won't work whenever Tom Brady is in your quarterback. Sorry, a little tangent over, but moving on from the second tier team in the Eagles, how about the Lions? They head into Houston tonight on Sunday for Sunday Night Football. Ooh.
I'm not gonna lie here. Despite the Chiefs being undefeated, I think the Lions are the best team in the league. Honestly,
Yes.
that week two loss against the Bucks was a really weird anomaly. Looking back in hindsight, because
the Bucks were hella hard against Kansas City too.
Yeah, well, the thing to consider with the Lions-Bucks game, here's the thing. Consider the Lions-Bucks game. The only reason they lost that game was Jared Goff played his worst game this season. That is the only reason the Lions lost that game. If Goff had thrown one less interception in that game, chances are they'd be undefeated right now. But this feels like a good transition point to talk about Lions-Packers because, yeah, the Lions just they completely just shredded the Packers in that game. With the, it was a slow death for Green Bay in that game. The Lions offense, it moved just enough in the rain to get some things done, but obviously it felt like when Kirby Joseph got that interception, that pick six for a touchdown on a very poor decision by Jordan Love there, but a even better decision by Kirby Joseph to pick that ball off and return it to the end zone right before halftime. It really felt like just a huge blow that the Packers just couldn't recover from, especially in the environment of the rain. Which, yeah, I know that Detroit plays indoors, and Green Bay, you know, they play at Lambeau. They're supposed to be used to that, but the Lions play such a tough style of football, such a, you know, just a dominant force of football in all parts of the field, like, you know, whether it be through the air, on the ground, like, you know, it's tough for even the toughest environments to try and fight against that. And the Lions went out there and just kicked the Packers' teeth in, and Green Bay's left with some answers as to, okay, what do we do now? But regarding the Lions, yeah, they're the best team right now. I agree.
The
Going
safety
to Green
core
Bay
for
for a moment.
What?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, Taegan,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Taegan, go. Taegan, go. Don't be passive.
So,
Go.
So the safety, unironically, the Wispy Woods-esque core of Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch outside for the Detroit Lions safeties, that may be the best safety core in the league.
Perhaps. I mean, that. All right. Okay. Okay, guys, hold on. Okay, guys, let's reset here. Taegan, say what you want to say.
I was just gonna say, for the most part, I think a lot of that game came down to Jordan Love just not being at 100%. But to go off on the safety thing,
You don't get it, bro. They were just a better prepared team, man. Which is the biggest load of horse shit I have ever heard.
That is a load of horse shit. He got outplayed.
I think Jordan Love not being at 100% really does affect this team, because that team is built on just Jordan Love. Like, granted, yeah, they got some wins against the Colts, and like, I don't even remember,
which was a
like,
big one.
Didn't the Texans?
Yeah, they beat
that-
they beat the Texans.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, off of
With
the leg
Will
of
Levis?
Brandon McManus. No, that's
No, I
the
was meaning-
Titans.
Yeah, I was meaning mostly with Will Levis.
Yeah, we're
But, like,
referring
this-
to what,
this
like,
team-
we were referring to that as with they have done it
Not Will
without
Levis.
Malik Willis.
without-
Okay,
yeah.
there you go,
Malik
Taegan. Malik
Willis.
Willis.
There you go.
Okay, so
That's
you were
what I
talking
meant,
about
my
like
bad.
Malik was playing. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I see what you mean.
I was just gonna say, like, this team is built around Jordan Love, and I get Malik Willis came in and helped out for those couple of games, but we've seen when Jordan Love isn't at 100%, he cannot go toe to toe with the big boys, and that's fine. That's more than reasonable. This just shows that over this bye week, they really need him to heal up. Otherwise, any chance at them making the playoffs, not making the playoffs, any chance of them making a Super Bowl this year is just going to be very much in the dark. Which, like, I did want to say that's really transitioned to this, to just kind of get over the rest of the NFC North, since that division is very topical. The Vikings are very conflicting, where they have a great defense, but their offense has really fallen off a cliff over these last couple of weeks.
True.
but look, I
You
mean,
did
here's
not
the thing.
get the disrespect the Darnold that way, miss. The man had 3 passing touchdowns, folks. A terrific quarterback, if I ever saw one. You know, looked much better than Sleepy Joe Flacco and the Indianapolis Dolts. I've seen a better quarterback than Sam Darnold.
I'm
He's
glad
on
you
his
brought
way
up
to
the
the
Vikings.
30th Super
Taegan, I'm
Bowl.
glad you brought up the Vikings, because I think it's time to bring up something very funny. We need to bring up the
What a-
funny, Taegan.
I want to bring up this real quick. A couple things. You have the Darnold and his running man, JJ Vance.
Nobody in the lip rules media down in Carolina can stop him now. We're gonna make America skull again. And as for Wisconsin, we're gonna build a dome and make Green Bay pay for it.
Based.
Taegan,
So,
Back to the
Taegan, I think I need to bring it up. Sorry to keep saying your name out loud, but it's too funny not to bring up because it was so funny watching you seethe during the game.
It was funny.
I traded for you in fantasy. I put my life on the line for you. I put my dignity, my will, my soul, my love, my straight feeling for this game on you to score a touchdown. I made scenarios. I made things more impossible than the 7 of us being here right now, because the fact of the matter is I needed him to win that game in fantasy, because in the gaggle league that I'm in, which is with a bunch of other friends, and Nick and Jugger can attest to this, I am 3-5 in that league because I got hosed because I have over 1,100 points dropped on my head, and it's been 9 weeks. I can't take this any longer, and the one time I need anything from Aaron Jones, he's just like, nah, buddy, I'm gonna do my own thing. And then to cap it all off, Jalen Naylor, I hate you. Why do you have to wear the number 83? When Jalen Naylor caught that touchdown, I thought, oh my god, I have a chance. I got it, and it's 83.
Yeah, dude, I was, for those unaware, we were in a watch along, and Taegan, as he noted, he needed Aaron Jones to do well. He needed a touchdown from him. He needed, like, yards and all that from him. And when Naylor scored that touchdown, Taegan initially thought that was Aaron Jones, and he celebrated for 5 seconds, and then and we realized, oh, that's not Aaron Jones. That's Jalen Naylor. And that was so funny. I was laughing so hard at that, but not as hard as what would happen on the last Vikings touchdown when Taegan was making scenarios where he said, Aaron Jones is going to score a touchdown here. He's going to score a touchdown, and the Colts are going to drive down the field and score a touchdown, and I'm going to win in fantasy because his opponent had the Vikings defense. I'm going to win in fantasy. That's exactly what's going to happen. I have the script already in play. And as he was finishing saying that, Sam Darnold throws a touchdown to Josh Oliver.
Then, no, the story doesn't end there. No, here's what's gonna happen now, Nick. Here's what's gonna happen now. The Colts are gonna go down the field. They're going to score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion, and then they're going to go into overtime. It's going to be Colts ball first. They go down, they kick a field goal. Vikings get the ball. They go down with an Aaron Jones 74-yard rush. They get it at the exact 1-yard line. They're going to have to kick a field goal, and then the Colts are going to have to go down on the field. They're going to end up only getting about 30 yards, and then they're going to punt, and there's a Stephon Gilmore interception.
Oh,
yeah, and
all game.
none of that happened.
No, it happened, Dave. It happened, Nick. You're just remembering it wrong. You're remembering it wrong.
The critical gaze theory claims another.
Oh my fucking god!
The critical gaze theory. What's next? DJ Moore hires.
Oh my god.
So, I don't want to butt in like this very rudely, but I think that the Steelers and Commanders game will be the game of the week.
Shut up. Honestly.
I am excited for that Steelers-Chiefs game, man.
No, Commanders. It's Commanders.
Oh yeah, I was referring to I was jumping ahead to the future. The Christmas Day game between those two. Old bullshit versus new bullshit.
Bro. Bullshit game to end all bullshit.
But that Texans-Lions game is going to be either the most depressing thing to watch or the most exciting thing to watch all weekend.
The Texans have one Achilles heel. They need an offensive line for their offensive line. It's so good.
Yeah, it really is.
And the Lions are tied for most sacks in the game in the league.
Lord.
No,
Yeah.
no, not sacks, but they are tied for the most turnovers in the league with 11 with Buffalo.
Yeah,
Good luck, buddy.
that's gonna be a good luck to Noah and the Texans. You know what? I think it's time. I feel like I've talked more than usual. I feel like me and Taegan, is it time we rip the band-aid off again, or do you want to wait a little longer?
I
You
say
know
rip
what?
the band-aid off.
We normally get our therapy out around this time anyway, and we already kind of talked about all their teams except this. Actually, no, Luke, talk about the Seahawks first.
We're mid.
another-
End of story.
Welcome to another
Okay, good.
episode of Seahawks Tua.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
I just ended the story. We're mid. Canucks are less mid. Kraken are still sleep apnea. Okay, done.
Smith on
I
that
hate-
thing.
Although I will say, congratulations to Cal Raleigh for winning the Platinum Gold Glove Award for all back catchers. Congratulations to Big Dumper.
Yay.
Platinum
Yay.
Big Dumper.
Mmm.
Platinum Dumper right there.
Not
So, yeah.
bad, not bad.
Anywho,
Congrats to him. Taken.
now going on to the moment you all been waiting for, the main event of tonight's star-studded event. I hate the Chicago Bears. They hate me. I hate them. I want to tear my eyes out. I want to tear my balls out. I want to tear my toenails out. I want to tear my brain out. I can't with this team anymore. I feel like that one Boogie 2988 clip where he say, "I'm going insane. I'm going insane." I can't with this team anymore, man. I've tried to defend Matt Eberflus. Noah had specifically edited a portion of a Bear video where I defended him, and I had one of our best editors write that to give him hope. And you know what he does? You know what? Learned
You
nothing.
punch your balls.
Slammed
I threw
your
it away.
Phoenix
He
against
threw
the
it away,
door.
burned it in the... So he threw it away, burned it in a fire, burned it again, and then put it back together and then burn it again.
Basically.
No,
If I'm
here's
not
what's
mistaken.
here's the thing. I'm not upset that we lost, because like, well, obviously I'm upset we lost. But there's another way of how we lost. If we lost because like we just couldn't get back on the field in time, that's whatever. You got blown the hell out by a streaky as hell Arizona Cardinals team. They were fine up until this point, but you made them look like world beaters. And that is the biggest issue I have. Nothing about this team changed from last week. You want to know what Matt Eberflus did and what left me just in complete awe? Letting up a 40-plus yard touchdown with 30 seconds left. You learned nothing from last week. You played soft coverage again, and you got exposed again. And you want to know what you say? Well, we have to look at the playbook, and we're gonna have to find why that is. Want to know why that is? You played the cover 2, and you refuse to ever blitz a goddamn guy. You refuse to play man coverage when you have 30 man corners on this team, and you have two of the best run stuffing cornerbacks on this team in not Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson's good. Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon. Granted, both of them were out that game. But still, the fact of the matter is beforehand, they weren't using them as run stuffers, and instead they were just being complete and utter idiots. Because Matt Eberflus is so goddamn in his own head, saying that he's right and saying that he knows everything, that he is actively tanking this team because he refuses to be wrong.
Oh, don't even get me started on that offense. Jesus Christ.
I can't even blame the offense to an
I
extent.
can. I have Cole Kmet on my fantasy, so the fact that he didn't get a single touch, mind you, that pisses me off.
100%. 100%. That's egregious. I will get on Shane in a moment. But I can't even blame the offense in and of itself, specifically the players, because when you're down right tackle, when you're on right tackle 3, when you're on left guard 2 when you're on center 2, when you're on left guard 2 that is actually left guard 1 now because your right guard 1 sucks, and then you have right tackle 2 out on the field because right guard 1 got hurt. There is nothing Caleb could have done behind that offensive line because guess what? They were all unprepared. And I'm not going to get on Ryan Post because he's done a great job with this team. What I will get on with him about is the sole fact that he's been cheap on fucking line. He refuses to go out and get a big guy unless you count trading for Montez Sweat in a rare occurrence where the Bears trade for someone and actually keep him longer for that year as something that's fucking revolutionary.
I think it's a good move. They spent a second-round pick, and
it is. It is a
their
good move.
defense
I'm just
changed
saying.
overnight because of that trade.
I'm not saying it's a great move. It's an excellent move. It's just,
Yeah, it is.
It's rare.
Nick, you remember when we traded for Dontrell Inman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what I'm meaning. That's the typical Bear shit that happens. We trade for fucking Dontrell Inman, and then we just move on with our lives. We trade for fucking Ryan Bates, who's, granted, he's good and can play every single position, but he's hurt every single year. We trade for guys like freaking... it's just... This team pisses me off so much. Because there's so much potential here, and I feel like we're wasting Caleb. Actually, you know what? I'm not quite done with Eberflus yet. First things first, why in the fucking hell are you putting Caleb Williams out within the last 2 minutes? And your excuse is, well, we need to get something going. Bullshit, the game's over. That's your only ticket to why you're here. And you know what you do? You're like, ooh, I'm too in over my head to make sure that I'm all about myself, so I'm going to leave him out there. And look what happens. Oh, he gets hurt at the very end of the play. Turns out he's not going to really be on the injury report because he's a guy that's going to play through that kind of stuff. Regardless, you got him hurt. You are the... Nick, you go ahead because I need to chill.
Yeah, I'll take it from here. I feel like with the defense, like, what pisses me off is I feel the secondary honestly played, even with all the injuries, I feel like they played a great game because they contained Kyler Murray. Like, Kyler Murray was not that big of a factor in that game. Like, he only had 154 passing yards and only 6 rushing yards. Like, we did a great job containing Kyler. The problem is...
100%.
The Cardinals have a great running game, and it's not just Kyler. James Conner is a beast. Trey Benson does very well when he's given the chance, and Imari Emercado or something, like, you know, the guy who basically just decided to say, you know what, you might be suffering, but let's crank this up to 11, and decided to run a 53-yard rushing touchdown on that soft coverage right before halftime. And I feel like that's the egregious part. It wasn't just that, I mean, it would have been bad enough if it was like, you know, a big passing play. The fact that it was a standard running play, a standard typical running play that went for 53 yards on a touchdown is inexcusable. That's inexcusable for any team, let alone a team that needs momentum, a team that is looking for anything to grasp and use it to find something that's like, yes, okay, we're gonna get out of this hole. For the Bears to give that up, like right before halftime, it was absolutely inexcusable and just, oh my god, like, you know, like, it felt like the game was over from there. Granted, it wasn't technically over, but like, it just had the feeling that when the Bears came out of the locker room after halftime, they felt like a team that just like, they gave up. They did not feel like fighting out there. They didn't feel like, you know, fighting out there for their head coach. And
why would you want to fight for a lame duck head coach? Like, why would you want to fight for a guy like that?
I want to fight for the McCaskies in the first place.
Yeah, why would you want to fight for someone stubborn? Like, why fight for someone that's being very stubborn and you're getting your... You have that happen, and that's on top of what happened against Washington. It's just like, well, damn, why why am I here? Why am I doing this? And I think what sums up the comments on how is Eberflus handling the locker room right now? 670 to score asked DJ Moore a question. Has Matt Eberflus lost his football team? And DJ Moore's response was, I won't say no. Not exactly the most inspiring response right there.
But Nickman, you don't get it. Eberflus, he grew a beard, man. He grew a beard. That means his coaching points went up by like 50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know who else had facial hair? You know who else had facial
Matt
hair?
Nagy?
Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia had facial hair. How'd that turn out for him? Like, you just want to... And, I mean, for the offense, like, I mean, I will say, Romo Duzne did what he had to do. He was absolutely the best player for us out there. Loved the game he had, and that's, like, the only bright spot is the fact that Rome is doing well. But, like, outside of that, like, Caleb had a rough game.
I mean,
a lot of it was honestly out of his control. Granted, there was some hero ball he still shouldn't be doing. Sometimes just take the checkdowns when the opportunity comes, but, like, he got sacked 6 times. Like, there's no denying that.
I will say this too. A couple things I will at least kind of be positive about. Romo Duse, I feel, has broken the Bears wide receiver curse, where it's just like, I feel like we can't draft anyone that works out. But with the games that he's had this season, where he's just been force-fed the ball, he's been perfect. He's been one of the best spots on this team. And not only that too, but Caleb, when he was making his throws, he was doing pretty well. It's just, he doesn't have enough time on this team. And you know what? I still think he's the guy. And that's one thing that... And I'm so glad about that, because normally, like, I would start to have doubts, because there would just be a real stinker game like this, where I just felt absolutely miserable about the quarterback future and feel like we messed it up. But it's different with him, because I don't really feel like it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, to go on the point, I'll bring up another point regarding Flus and probably the tension that's growing between him and the organization, because like, I would say, like, in terms of having a PR team, I feel like the Bears PR team is probably getting really sick of having to hear the press conferences and some of the comments. Because, regarding the whole Caleb keeping him in the game debacle, you know, Flus was asked about how, you know, hey, like, you know, did Poles have some thoughts on that? And Flus's response was, yeah, I'm not going to get into private conversations with Ryan in terms of exactly what was said or not said, which, look, you can imagine that, Poles was probably not happy. He was probably not happy about that, which, who could blame him? And it's just, this is the transition into this upcoming game, because there's going to be a lot riding on this Bears-Patriots game, and the fact of the matter is, you know, this is a big statement game for the Bears. Well, not a statement game, but in terms of just trying to find something. Like, you gotta find something to try and get out of this hole, and just find something good to feel about, especially given it's a rookie quarterback matchup between, you know, Williams and May, and I feel like it's worth noting, depending on how the Bears perform this Sunday, we'll have some interesting dynamics as to how I see this team, because it's worth noting still, and I'm saying it because I don't know how many more times I'm going to get to say it, the Bears on the road this season are 0-4. They are 4-0 at home. That's just something I wanted to bring up, because I'm curious if the Bears play well this week. It will only add into my dynamic that the Bears are a team that's prepared for home games but completely unprepared for road games. That's
Soldier Field merchants.
Yeah, Soldier Field. Yeah, true. It would be it would basically be that I would start to really consider more and more of. But, you know, on the flip side, what if they don't, you know, win this game? What if they just somehow find a way to lose and all of that? Which, in that case, well, I can only imagine how the locker room's gonna feel after that, because I've said it before, the locker room is not Fluce's best friend right now. It is not his best friend, and simply put, like, it's a tension that's growing, and for as good as some Bears players will be to try and, make it as professional as possible, that, hey, like, we wouldn't say no to the fact that, hey, he's lost his locker room. It's just, if they lose to New England, and they've lost their third straight game, they lose to an awful Patriots team, tensions really might boil over.
Oh, it's just straight
You don't
up
think
gone.
tensions are already boiled over right now?
Well,
I think
they
it's
are
pretty
boiling
damaged.
over. But if they lose to that, it's only going to increase tenfold.
So I feel like we're really ignoring a former Seahawk elephant in the room as far as the
Yeah, we can
offense
talk
go.
about Waldron. We can, yeah. We can talk about him. I don't really have much more to say about Waldron. I mean, I don't like the game plan that we've had on the road this season. I understand there's flaws with the roster. The O-line is a pain in the ass for any quarterback, especially a rookie like Caleb, to deal with. But at the same time, it is inexcusable how unprepared our offense has felt on the road this season. It really is. And at some point, the play caller, I don't care what your situation is, the play caller needs to figure that out. He really needs to figure that out, because the last thing you want is a Luke Getsy situation where, you have that tension grow on the offensive side of the ball, where it's not just the head coach that's getting blasted by players, it's the play caller. And simply put, it's really, really annoying that the Bears have gone away from Cole Kmet. Regardless if you like Cole Kmet or you have him on your fantasy team, the reality from what I've seen is the Bears have gone away from him, and that's really frustrating, because Caleb has worked very well with Cole Kmet when given the chance to work with him. And it's just, why do you not let him work? Why do you not let the dynamic work? It works! Keep doing it! Stop trying to reinvent the wheel!
I think
I will
what
say
really
this,
drives
with
me
the
up a wall with this whole Shane Waldron thing is that he did the exact same garbage with Kari Blasen game, because he hated running with a real fullback and was like, no, I'm gonna force my backup center to be my new fullback. I'm gonna look like a genius. Fuck you all, watch this.
Well, good news is that said fullback will be starting on Sunday at left guard, because I think Tevin Jenkins is out.
Wait, is he? Hold on. Did that get? I know Wright and Jones are out. I don't know about Jenkins though. I don't know about
Let me
him.
check. I think he might be questionable.
He's questionable, but he was a full participant at practice. So hopefully he can play. Really hope he can play.
Oh,
God,
never mind. He has no destination. He's good to go.
Yeah, God knows this whole line needs him. But I will say, given I heard him say something. Given that you are the Patriots fan, Sev, what do you have to say heading into this game?
Honestly, I just hope that Drake May doesn't fucking die.
I think he'll be fine. Or should be fine.
Hopefully for his sake he comes out of it unscathed. But the Bears the Bears need to win badly. They really, really need to win badly this week. But you know what? I still have another team to talk about, because there have been some changes. There have been more coaching changes around the league. Granted, not head coaching changes, but coaching changes regardless. Because having to watch the Raiders every single game, I can say with a prayer, I no longer have to watch a Luke Getsy offense. Thank God. I don't have to watch Luke Getsy anymore. I'm free.
Getsy so
You
bad.
did it.
Oh.
I'm free from that terrorist. Oh, thank God.
I still can't believe he got a second job. Oh, wait, never mind. That was a lie. It was for the Raiders, and the Raiders Let's be flat out honest. They weren't built to win. They're
I'm just
teams
gonna say it.
that are intentionally built to lose, and the Raiders are not built to win right now. They're built to lose.
A team that employs Marvin Lewis is not built to win in
A team that
2024.
employs Marvin Lewis and Rob Ryan, I might add.
Like I just feel bad for for Pierce right now, because I feel like this was like a genuine, if he had a fair shake of actually building an opportunity for a team, I think he could do some special things. But there's a reason why interim guys do the smart move and just keep the interim tag. The Raiders looked at Pierce and they go, you know what? He's here purely for convenience. That's what he's here for, and it sucks. I hate seeing it like this.
Yeah, it's just, and the unfortunate thing is, Pierce had actually made a very good choice with his first option, because remember, the original Raiders offensive coordinator was supposed to be Cliff Kingsbury, but that was before Washington offered him a better deal, and he decided to take that job, and that's how Luke Getsy used his black magic to get another opportunity as an offensive coordinator in the NFL, which, yeah, went about as well as you could imagine. And granted, as said last season, Pierce was basically given the head coaching gig because, well, he saved that locker room, and Mark Davis at the time really couldn't afford to try and get another head coach. Now, granted, with Tom Brady now on the ownership, group, I think it should be possible that he could look at something else, especially given how the Raiders are playing this season. Which, speaking of the Raiders play, yeah, they got run over by the Bengals last week. I mean, Joe Burrow had 5 touchdowns. Chase Brown went off. Mike Gesicki had 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. They made him look like Rob Gronkowski out there. And the Raiders just got absolutely obliterated, to the point where Gardner Minshew got benched, and I was having to watch Desmond Ridder play football.
The Desmond Riddler. The Desmond Bristler.
Hey,
Mr.
hey,
Gordash himself.
don't you dare disrespect the Rizzler like that. Don't ever mention Desmond Ritter and the Rizzler in the same sentence. I have snipers on your house if you dare say anything about the Rizzler ever again.
I understand.
This is your last warning.
I understand I have made a zero boom statement, for which I am very sorry.
You will be doomed.
So, how about we change topics to the Falcons?
Nah. Not feeling the Falcons.
Hold on. Actually, hold on. Before we do that, I don't really have much to say, because I think the Falcons are doing what they gotta do. They're doing fine. They're playing good football. They haven't played good football in a long time, so good for them. They're playing well. You know what's funny, though? Because this ties into what happened with the Raiders, because there's a real shot that Desmond Ridder might get some starting opportunities because of how poorly Gardner Minshew is playing. The Raiders are playing the Falcons in December. You probably know where I'm going with this.
Oh, shit.
I might be getting a Desmond Ridder matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, which, even funnier, that game's on Monday Night Football.
Wait, can those get flexed? Can those are eligible to be flexed out now?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh right, that's Thursday night. Sorry, that's Thursday night. Sorry, that's Thursday night.
No, it's a Monday night game. It can't be flexed though, because it's an exclusive game to ESPN Plus.
Oh wait, hold on.
Because remember that same week, Bears and Vikings play as well.
Wait, that's not ESPN Plus. It's on ESPN.
Oh, I thought it was. Still, I don't think they could do that though.
But yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
We're gonna get Desmond Rizzler versus Michael Penis, man. I can't believe this is my life.
I don't know. Penix won't play. It's gonna be it's the.
I think we see Penix make an appearance late in the season. If the Falcons keep winning, and the Bucks unfortunately keep tripping over themselves. I think the Falcons will have a shot to have Penix start one game this season.
You'd be
which,
week
yeah,
18.
it would be a joyous occasion. We get to see Michael Penis Jr. play football. A joyous occasion that will be.
I'll be
But,
happy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very happy.
I'm hoping
Oh, God,
it's
Lord.
against the Rizzler.
It would be very funny. I'm just gonna, because we're probably gonna wrap up soon. I'm gonna just give you guys a rundown of the playoff standings because I feel like that's something we can do. That's something to worth noting. Like, you know, just to like get a summary of, because we're over halfway through the NFL season and all that. So it does become the time where we start looking at the playoffs and all that, and how's the picture looking. So the AFC, first place is Kansas City. They might not play the prettiest football, but they find ways to win. Yada, yada, yada. They're the Kansas City Chiefs. You already know the drill. Second place is the Buffalo Bills. They're 7-2. I really hope Buffalo can make it past the second round this season. I really do hope they can make it past the second round. In third seed, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-2. Who would have seen that coming earlier this season? The Steelers being the third seed.
Insert obnoxious, overused urinating tree quote here.
Yep, insert that there. Fourth seed is the Texans. They're 6-3. They've gotten battered by injuries and some underperforming play, but the AFC South behind them is yikes, and they do
AFC
have a
South
couple.
is the worst division in football.
Yeah, it's a yikes
bad.
for a reason, and they do have that cushion ahead of the Colts, having that two-game lead over them, also having swept them in the season series, so that's good for them to have. Behind them, you have the Ravens at 7-3. Ravens have their flaws, but when they are clicking, they are clicking. They are a very good team. Just the big question is, will those flaws come back to hurt them in the playoffs? Which, by the way, you know what? I know this is about last week, but I feel like I kind of want to talk about the Ravens-Bengals game from last night, because what a game that was, huh?
Oh yeah, I can't believe, I think Al Michaels said it best, like, too many games end like that. Like, it doesn't feel, like, exciting anymore. It just feels like it's inevitable because that's what the NFL wants. That's what the Shield thinks is a quality product. So they just ref all the shit out of it.
I mean, damn shame, considering that was a genuinely great football game. Like, that was a great game down to the wire. Shame it had some stupid ref ball to end it, but, I mean, I will say this, though. Still was a great game regardless. I mean, Lamar Jackson, I feel like, is showing that he is well on his way to another MVP season with the way he's playing. I don't think anyone can deny that. I don't think anyone should deny that. Lamar Jackson is playing like an MVP quarterback. The fact that I want to say this for people to consider this. Lamar Jackson in his MVP season last year had 24 passing touchdowns. He has 24 passing touchdowns this season. Like, that's saying something right now. That's saying how well he's playing. Like, Lamar Jackson was great last season. He's even better this season, which is just scary. And it really says how the Bengals find ways to lose this season, because Joe Burrow played an incredible game, and Jamar Chase did everything he needed to do, literally went out there and played like a wide receiver god just for the Bengals to still lose.
Because
Joe
Zach
Burrow
Taylor
threw
is
for
a fucking hell.
Joe Burrow threw for 9 passing touchdowns against the Ravens this year. How in the world did they lose both games?
And I think we heard his name drop, and I think it's time to bring him up. I have a feeling this is going to be Zach Taylor's last season. At the very least, it should be.
Zach Taylor, give me your foreskin now.
Yeah,
What?
give me your foreskin. Oh my god, yeah. Just with Zach Taylor, look, I think there's parts of it where I do think he gets overhated. But this season, it's exposed his biggest flaws. Like, the biggest flaws that he's had in previous seasons, where it's like questionable play calling, slow starts, overthinking. It's like, those have been his biggest flaws, even when the Bengals were doing very well and making it to the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game. And it's been increased to 11 this season, where it just becomes more and more noticeable, where the slow starts aren't just something the Bengals can crawl out of, and like the questionable decision making that the Bengals will make at times, it comes back to bite them. Because the sad thing is, the Bengals offense played a great game yesterday. Unfortunately, those small decisions, those small errors where the Bengals just overthought something, ended up biting them in the ass. And I mean, I get the feeling it just has to be Taylor's last year, especially when someone like Joe Brady, who has experience with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, could be available in the offseason as a potential coaching hire. It just feels like the end is drawing near for Zach Taylor. And I feel like it's worth saying, I'm going to ask this because I think this is an interesting topic to ask about. There's been a lot of talk about the Bengals going for 2 to try and take the lead, on that final possession. And a lot of people who brought that up also immediately brought up how a lot of people were saying the Buccaneers should have gone for 2 against the Chiefs at the end of regulation. And I just want to hear y'all's thoughts on that. Like, how do y'all feel about that?
Go for 2 again.
I don't care,
Chiefs.
honestly. It's a dumb argument, and trying to equivocate the two is just stupid.
I mean, here's the only thing I had against like the Bengals going for 2 there is the fact that the Ravens, there was over 30 seconds left, and the Ravens still had 2 timeouts. Like, it was very possible, especially given this is Lamar we're talking about, he could easily go down the field and, get them in field goal range. And yes, I'm aware Justin Tucker had that miss, and yes, Justin Tucker hasn't been the usual standard we expect from him, but at the same time, he's still Justin Tucker. He can find a way to get a great kick out of his ass still. Now, I will say for the Bucs one, I understand that one more, even though I don't think it was unnecessary for them to go for 2, because it's not like it was a need for them to go for 2, even if it was against Mahomes. But it would have been fun. To think about, because if they had gone for 2, and let's say they had gotten it, they would have had the lead, and the Chiefs would have had like 20 seconds to try and do something. And granted, they did have a timeout. They did have a timeout left, but 20 seconds to do something in the rain, which probably would have sealed it.
I think my bigger complaint is, I guess this makes Cincinnati the second team in a row to not utilize Khalil Herbert.
Okay, to be fair though, I'm gonna say this though. Khalil Herbert on his first snap fumbled that ball. That's just hilarious. Like, he fumbled the ball on his first snap. That summed up his game pretty well. But
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I get it, because Chase Brown has been playing very good football. It's just, I understand why you wouldn't want to abandon Herbert after that, but it's like, come on, dude. Like, why are you fumbling on your first snap with the Bengals? Come on.
Yeah, that's just kind of like you're making yourself look like a regrettable signing as soon as you stepped onto the field and fumbled it on your first snap.
Yeah, 3 7th round pick, we'll take it.
Yeah, but I think we're all caught up on football, so I think we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think we can wrap up right now, actually.
Sure.
I can wrap it up right now. Anyways, thank you guys so much for coming in. Be sure to don't forget to follow everybody on social medias. If you haven't, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you all next week. I might be doing something for college football this week. We'll see. We
Okay.
shall see. I'm going to be dragging Noah to do something. I'm going to be dragging
Alright.
Noah to the abyss. I'll have to hook you up for something.
Yeah.
We'll talk probably tomorrow or Sunday at some point.
Sorry,
But,
Nick, you're
yeah.
getting kicked out of the editing basement.
Yeah. You get to be part of my one take. It's a one take. You don't even have to edit the video. That's the best part. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Until then, take care of yourselves. And, of course, always have yourselves a damn good one.
Have a good one, boys.
Arrivederci.
You